Hi there, welcome to this short video about pigeon pose. This pose has quite a lot going on with it because it's got one leg in what we call external rotation and the other thigh is actually an internal rotation. So it can cause a few issues with people who have joint problems. So today I'm going to work through some modifications and variations that will hopefully make you more comfortable in the pose, but not only that, it will actually help you to get more from the design purpose of the pose. So if we come down to the mat, the first option we've always got in pigeon pose is to sit in 90-90. So you'd have one leg in front at 90 degrees and the other leg at the back in 90 degrees as well. Now, this is a pose where if you've had hip replacements, you will need to be careful. Sometimes angles are, like these are, undesirable for those of you that have had hip replacements because there is a risk of damaging the new joint. So if that is you, please get in contact with me separately and we can talk through some options. But if you haven't had hip replacements or if you're not having any other problems with your hips, this is a great starting point, okay? 90 degrees in the front and 90 degrees in the back. And then we would simply work to turn the chest forward towards the front. Now, where might you feel the stretch? Several different places. You might feel it around the front of this thigh here. You might feel it around the outside of this back thigh, around the buttock maybe as well. Okay. So, if this is not attainable for you, there is always the option to close the angles a little bit of either the front leg, the back leg, or both legs and work within the range that you've got. Okay. So if you're here and you feel the stretch, you sit here and you feel the stretch. If you're here and you feel the stretch, you're still doing it successfully. Okay. For those of you who have a front knee that maybe lifts up quite a lot, in order to allow the stuff to relax, we need to take some of the activity away. So it might be that you grab a block here or another prop, it doesn't need to be a block, and just allow the leg to rest on it so that this allows this to relax a little bit more so that you can then find your way into the stretch. Progressions from here for those excuse me, that are able to, you might start exploring lengthening the leg back behind you. So this will then extend the stretch and lengthen it more down through the front of this hip. And then eventually we might work to square the hip off. You'll notice that I'm a little bit tight, so I can't get all the way over. Okay. So if that's you and this back leg is your focus, what you might do is just slightly change the angle of this front knee by drawing the heel in, taking the knee slightly outside the hip socket to give yourself more space. That might give you more room around the pelvis to actually then roll over. And then we deepen the stretch down the front of this back thigh here. If the focus is really on stretching through the outside of this thigh and into the hip and around the glutes of this front leg, we might look to put something smaller than a block, maybe a blanket, just to support you when you roll over into this position here, so that you can then start to maneuver a little bit to deepen the stretch around the back of this thigh. However, if that's just very, very uncomfortable for you, do let me know, because I can actually give you seated and lying variations of this pose, which will still work to stretch around here and here very, very effectively. It just needs a little bit more information on how to do those variations. But to give you a heads up, you might come into this seated figure 4 stretch. You'll see that the angles are very similar, and I feel the stretch here. Or, depending on the sequence and what perhaps comes next, you might be able to come into a lying pigeon, and the underneath leg could be bent or straight. You could even do this standing up as a balance challenge. Okay. So there's very, very many variations that we can use. And it's all about finding what is right for your body, because as I say, there's quite a lot going on with the front leg in external rotation. The back leg is actually rotating in, and then we might start to add on some upper body positioning as well. So have a play with the angles. If you need any help, please get in contact. And if you need help with anything else, also do feel free to get in touch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you really soon. Thank you.